Thanksgiving weekend to you all, and thanks for joining us here on Comcast Sportsnet for the 2015 IHSA State Football Finals. What a slate of games we've seen here at Husky Stadium the past couple of days, and it all concludes with the 8A championship game here, Loyola Academy and Marist. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Kelly Kroll, and it has been quite a weekend with everything wrapping up here in the 8A championship from DeKalb. We'll take a look at some of the scores from earlier today. Classes 5A through 8A all being crowned champions this afternoon. Our first game of the afternoon, 5A champions Nazareth Academy over Lincoln Way West 42-21. Montini Catholic over Crete-Monee 38-15. Glenbard West just defeated Libertyville 34-28. What a way for Sam Brodner and company to go out. And now Loyola Academy, the #1 seed, a 13-0 perfect season, looking to make that 14-0 against a Marist squad that many didn't expect to even be here. But it is the 8A championship, and we have a championship broadcast crew up there just awaiting this final game. Of course, we have Dave Bernhardt and Hub Arkish. Guys,
you take a look here at, you just mentioned the word expect. The expectations coming into the playoffs and into this game, Hub, I think are a little different.
Well, they really are. Talking to Pat Dunn earlier this week, and you look at this Marist team, they're just thrilled to be here. I mean, this is a team that started had 4 losses, 6th in their conference. They run the table to get to the finals. Obviously, they want to win the championship game, but these playoffs are a huge success for them already. Loyola, on the other hand, 2011, 2013. John Holisek needs to win a championship to feel good about things.
And for Marist, one of the guys that make them go, maybe the #1 guy, that's quarterback Brendan Skolitsky.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've seen now 3 all-state quarterbacks. First, we saw Riley Lease for Libertyville in the last game. Now Brendan Skolitsky. Like Lease, a threat on the ground, through the air. He is the guy that offense will spin around.
And that third all-state quarterback plays for Loyola. He's Emmett Clifford.
Yeah, a little bit different here. He'll run the football, but he is predominantly a passer. John Holisek, a pro-style offense, you would expect that. But Clifford runs the show. He'll manage the game. He's the guy that will keep them going the way they want.
These two schools, the last time they got to this game, they finished second. Somebody's going to go home with a championship trophy. It's Loyola and Marist coming up, the 8A championship on Comcast Sportsnet. The largest school class, 8A, Marist, Loyola. We're going to crown a champion in a couple of hours. Husky Stadium in DeKalb. It is the site of the IHSA State Football Championships. We have 7 state champions in the book. Number 8 coming up. Loyola and Marist hooking it up here. An undefeated Loyola team, a 4-loss Marist team. Loyola won the toss. They deferred to the second half. It'll be Patrick Tata putting it on the tee for the Ramblers. Deep for Marist, it will be Seamus Glasgow along with Darshawn McCullough. Game breakers on both sides of this field here tonight. Slight wind at the back of Tata. And he will hit it deep. And a return from the goal line. Marist will have the ball starting at about the 19-yard line. A return by Seamus Glasgow. Brendan Skolitsky, the quarterback for Marist. Much like Riley Lees, if you were with us for the 7A game, Skolitsky, a run-pass type threat. Injured player on the field for Marist. That's Darshawn McCullough. McCullough, one of the key playmakers for this Marist club.
Definitely his right leg, Dave. It's we don't want to speculate about an injury, but he's holding his calf, but definitely down on the right leg, whether it's an ankle or a foot, but it's that lower leg.
As we said, Brendan Skolitsky, eye-popping numbers, 38 touchdown passes, 3,500 yards. He's also rushed for over 1,000. Here are the numbers. Talking about 47 combined touchdowns, 393 passing attempts through 13 games. So divided out, he'll put it up about 30 times a game. Well, one of his key receivers is down all by himself at about the 15-yard line, Darshawn McCullough.
They've got him up now. They're going to let him walk off, but he certainly seems to be in a world of hurt. He's limping on that right leg, and this is a young man with 1,000 receiving yards on the season, 607 yards rushing from scrimmage. It looked like he got that leg bent underneath him as the second tackler came in to take him down. Hopefully it's not serious.
Well, that's a good sign right there for Marist fans. A little jog there as he hit the sideline. So he will not be in the pure starting lineup. Brendan Skolitsky likes to work from the spread in pistol formation. Deep. First play of the game, a bit overthrown. Out near midfield, here's the starting lineup for the REDHAWKS. 9-4 on the season. Darshawn McCullough, looks like we will see him. Delonte Harrell, also one of the running backs, great receivers. Liam Keffer along with Seamus Glascott and James Dunnigan, Ben Chafee, Billy Wagner, Bill Kaduk, Tom O'Mara, and Brent Holder up front. Done a nice job for Skolitsky. So the REDHAWKS look to strike early. Came up empty. And that's two passes off the hands of receivers, a little high and wide. Defensively for Loyola, this defense allows only 9.5 points per game. Jack Howe, Justin Samoa, along with Ben Leroy, headed here to Northern Illinois University. The linebacking core always great under John Holisek, Doherty, Rep, Romano, and DeFada. Then the secondary of Sam Taylor, Joey Zatello, Bobby Deschereau's a good one at free safety, and Ian Swenson joins them at his cornerback spot.
Dave, John Holisek calls Anthony Romano, number 40, the toughest kid he's ever coached. Coming from John Holisek, I think it's probably pretty tough.
Holisek, longtime NFL player. We'll talk more about him in a little bit, but it's a 3rd and 10 right now for Marist. Skolitsky working out of trouble. And 3 incomplete passes start this drive.
He had a big play there if he'd have put the ball on the inside shoulder of his receiver too, but he put it out behind him. He would have had the first down and then some. Don't think he goes all the way, but he just had to put the ball on the wrong side of his receiver.
So a quick 3 and out here for the REDHAWKS, and Loyola get their hands on the ball. Punter is Brendan Skolitsky, doubles as the punter as well as quarterback. Paul Escalante and Jack Martinez. Deep. Skolitsky didn't hit it very well. And on the return, inside the 45-yard line is Martinez. And the Ramblers are in business early. Ramblers 13-0 this season. They take advantage of just a 34-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Their quarterback, we just talked about him, Emmett Clifford. Last year, Clifford broke his collarbone during the season, and rather than just standing along the sidelines and biding his time, he went up into the press box to study the game. And it's paid off here in his senior season. Look at those numbers, 32 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. Bowl screen to the right side, and we've had 4 incomplete passes to start this game. The intended receiver was Dara Laja, and that gives us an opportunity to look at that Loyola offense. An offense that is keyed by Laja, the career record holder in rushing for Loyola. Jack Loper had been injured most of the year, back now for the playoffs. Jonah Isaac, he's a game breaker. Thomas Smart, great hands. Excellent tight end in Eric Eshu, and that offensive line has done a great job as well. Here's Clifford. He's going to crank it up. And the catch is made. Jake Marweedy. Marweedy, 6'5", 220-pounder, catches that one for 21 yards. He's been injured as well, coming back big time now.
Talk about a hands catcher. Watch where he grabs this ball. It is all hands as he goes to the ground. Great job. They call that plucking, scouting players for the NFL.
You can see Loyola likes to get ball in a hurry and go. Dara Laja to the outside, and he'll just kind of shake off a couple of people there. A short gain. Defensively for Marist, it's a unit that's given up 28 points per game. John Carmody, a good game in the semifinals. Elijah Teague, a player to watch in years ahead. Deotta Drayton along with David Tashina, Dennis Dickman, Louis De Pasquale, Micah Awadaran at the linebacker spot. And we'll catch you up on the secondary here in just a bit. Laja, good hard running. That secondary unit for Marist, defensive backs Taylor Weaver, Pat Gaynor, Rob Thompson, Bobby Gorman, and on the offensive line for Loyola, John Brecky, then the brothers Jack and Sam Bedovanak, along with Thomas Newt and Daniel Kurkowski.
I'm glad I didn't get the grocery bill at the Bedovanak household. These kids, the senior Sam, 6'2", 250, the junior Jack, 6'1", 250.
1,700 yards this year for Laja, who about midway through the season broke the career rushing record of one of his assistant coaches, Pat Naughton at Loyola. Clifford will keep it.
We mentioned in the open, Clifford is a threat on the ground, but not the threat of the other quarterbacks we've seen so far today. 50 rushes, just 212 yards, a 4.2 average, not bad, only 3 touchdowns. His job is to throw the ball and run this offense.
Timeout. Marist. That's their first time out of the half.
Opening drive of the game for Loyola. They are in red zone territory. No score early on.
Media timeout.
There's John Holisek. You look at those gaudy numbers, runners up in 2011, 2013, and for Holisek, former NFL player, has commanded a lot of respect among his players. We can tell you why after this play. And that will be a 5-yard walk-off. But that in and of itself, a great career at University of Illinois, a great career in the NFL.
Encroachment. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Our officials tonight hail from the deep south in Illinois. Andrew Speciale, Kevin Wallace, Jeffrey Harris, Jay Smith, and Michael Lee Gray Jr. We'll finish that thought on Holisek in just one moment. Loyola really wants to push the tempo here. Laja, is there a hole there for him? No, he will be pushed back and turned away. Number 33 for Marist. Michael Awadaran with the pushback. But back to Holisek. His players respect the knowledge and experience he's brought because of his NFL career.
Well, his NFL career, he's one of the great college linebackers of all time at Illinois, one of the great linebacking units of all time at Illinois, and played for Marv Levy and Wade Phillips with the Buffalo Bills for 6 years.
Clifford to keep it. He'll take it on in. Loyola scoring on their opening drive and a 4-yard run by Emmett Clifford.
It was workmanlike, wasn't it? It was almost as if Loyola knew exactly what they were doing. They got great field position. Marist could not afford to let that happen all night long. Really a short field, a 45-yard drive, and Clifford just let him right down the field.
And he finishes it off for Emmett Clifford, just his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Patrick Tata looking to make this a 7-0 game. Down, up, through, and good. Loyola strikes first, and they do it in a hurry. 4-yard touchdown run, Emmett Clifford, and they jump on top, 7-zip.
Media timeout.
Not as flashy as some of the players that we have seen running the quarterback spot throughout the years, but for Loyola, Emmett Clifford does everything asked of him. 8 plays, 44 yards. They made it look easy, taking 1:52.
Talk about efficient. 8 plays in 1:52. Again, incredible field position to set them up. Spread the ball around nicely. Clifford on the ground a couple times, including the finisher into the end zone.
Marist will get their hands back on the ball. They were 3 and out, a quick 3 incompletions. And it's time to play some catch-up. Again, Tata will put this ball deep. Remember, Marist playing without Darshawn McCullough the first time, and big stick on a play by Anthony Romano, a 25-yard return on the kickoff. There's Romano, and what was that what John Holisek said about Romano?
The toughest kid he's ever coached.
Yeah, and he kind of showed it right there, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty high praise. You know, the thing on Holisek, this would be a fun trivia question for the folks at home. He played on one of the great linebacking groups of all time. This is Pat Dunn, of course, the Marist head coach. So let's go to Dunn for just a minute here, because I think we should start looking now. What did Holosek say? One of the great gadget play coaches in Illinois high school football. Let's see what he brings out now that they're down 7-0.
Very high energy coach. Again, Darshan McCullough left with an injury. Skalitsky, not much room there. He's grabbed by Romano, and he's going nowhere.
Point I was going to get to a moment ago, Dave. John Holosek, the University of Illinois, played on a 3-4 defense with Dana Howard, the Butkus Award winner, Simeon Rice, Holosek, who had a great career with Buffalo and a few other teams in the NFL, drawing a blank on the fourth linebacker, but another NFL player, a high draft choice, and then went and played for Marv Levy and Wade Phillips. I've been fortunate to know Marv Levy throughout his coaching career. One of the great Hall of Fame NFL coach, and Holosek will say that he's had as much impact on Holosek's coaching career as anybody he ever worked with.
I'll have that answer for you there when you would like it.
Okay.
Or we can let other people play along for a while. Over the middle. Reception out. First positive yardage of the day here. Catch by Liam Keffer. Let's go to Kelly Krull.
Well, guys, we've been talking about it a little bit. Marist at 9-4. Very few expected to see them in the championship game, but Pat Dunn says that's kind of been the theme of the whole season. Those on the outside not really giving them much of a chance to do anything this year, and yet he's got a senior group that every year up to this point they've been 4-5, not even had winning seasons, and here they are in the state championship game. He says this is a relentless group that believes in themselves, and that's all that's mattered for them. It's not about what's being said on the outside.
Yeah, Kelly, that is incredible that the seniors have never had a winning record until this season, and that's the persistence and the day in and day out attitude that Marist approaches practices with.
You know, much has been made of that, 5-4 start and the 6th place finish, but when you look at who they lost to, you begin to realize, I mean, I think they lost by 1 score to each some of the best teams in the state.
Their first 3 games here in the playoffs were 3-point wins for Marist. 2 of them the last minute of play. Skalitsky will have to punt for the 2nd time today. And Loyola will get decent field position near their own 34-yard line. So the Ramblers scored on their first drive. It was a short one. They'll have the ball, 7-0 lead after that 32-yard punt by Skalitsky.
For those of you at home who are frustrated with my senior moment, I mentioned that great 4-man linebacking crew at the University of Illinois. All 4 excellent NFL careers. Talked about Dana Howard, of course, Simeon Rice, John Holosek, and Kevin Hardy, possibly the best of the bunch at Illinois.
That is hard to believe when you think back. Maybe at the time you don't appreciate it until you look back at those names you just rattled off. Clifford delivers low. David Terrell has that catch, and David Terrell's story as well is his father, pretty significant name in Chicago football.
Some NFL bloodlines there. His dad and I were pretty good buddies. We're both Michigan alum, and of course David Terrell, the Bears' first-round draft pick in 2001 when they went 13-3 and were the #1 seed in the NFC.
7 yards on first down. To the near side, it'll be Jonah Isaac. First down across midfield, and this is what Loyola will do. They will spread the field. They have 4 different receivers they can go to equally well. That one goes for 11 yards, and it will move the chains.
Another great story about David Terrell is he was raised in a single-parent household by his father, and obviously a very nice job upbringing with an outstanding young man.
Young David, a 5'11", 165-pound junior. Laja with room. To the outside. Dara Laja, not the fastest runner ever in Loyola history, but the most productive. Laja, first down carry on 15 yards. Taylor Weaver in on the stop of Laja, but he makes it tough to get a good shot at him. Good job by Weaver. He may have prevented 6.
If we talked a little bit about the size in the last game, the 7A game, about the Libertyville offensive line. How about these kids? The Budovanec brothers we talked about, 250 each. At left tackle, John Brecky is 6'3", 260. At the center, the center's the Budovanec. At right guard, I should say, Thomas Newt, 6 foot 280. And then 6'3", 275, the gentle giant, Daniel Karowski at right tackle.
Clifford, a little bit too much. Well, this offensive line has been a surprise. John Halasek knew he was going to have that great size you talked about, but in terms of them coming together and producing the way they have, in fact, this whole offensive unit has been a surprise in its own way. And part of that was because in the summer, this offense would go against the Loyola defense. It was actually missing a few players. It was an inexperienced defense. The offense was just rolling. And John Halasek thought, you know, it's just because of our defense isn't at full strength, but they have carried that offense over here all season long. That goes through the hands of Thomas Smart.
And I should add, it is Coach Halasek who named Daniel Kurowski the Gentle Giant, not me.
Fourth down here facing the Ramblers. Midway through this first quarter in the 8A championship game.
A big stop here for Marist. You'd hate to see this game get away from them early, and if they can get a stop here, they keep themselves very competitive. Just a one-score game.
3 receivers head out to the far left side up there. Make that 4 up at the top of your screen. Bubble screen will go. Laja, one of them. Now let's see. He's going to be short. They put him down at the 24. He needed to get inside the 23, and Marist will hold.
You know, Dave, John Halasek told us he focuses on the defense. That's his baby. He lets his offensive coaches run the offense. But when you see a 4-man bunch in high school, that's the NFL influence that John Halasek brings to this team.
That time just a yard short, so the REDHAWKS will come back out. Third possession of this game, looking for their first down. Skolitsky taking the handoff to McCullough will get about 5. Ball was down. Right behind number 75, Tom O'Mara, all 245 pounds of the 6'3" junior.
You really have to wonder. I don't see Darshawn McCullough yet, and as I mentioned when he went down, probably their most productive offensive player other than Skolitsky. Just a huge loss if he's done for the night on the first play of the game.
That came on the opening kickoff.
Timing was off on that snap.
And McCullough actually is in there. He was in the slot position, came through in motion.
That is good news for them. That's one of those plays, Dave, where 10 guys in the huddle heard one snap count, and number 17 heard a different one.
And it only takes one.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a sluggish start here for Marist in the early going. A 5-yard run by Skolitsky is negated by the 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 10. Pass not right on target. Intended receiver Liam Peffer. He came into this game with 91 catches for almost 1,400 yards.
And I think my favorite story about these two, isn't it? Peffer and Skolitsky, who've been neighbors since growing up as little kids, and now they come together at Marist, and they are the quarterback receiver twosome.
How about that? They come here to the championship game, the final game of their high school career. Skolitsky, Peffer, and the rest of the REDHAWKS facing one of the toughest defenses in the state. Pressure on Skolitsky. He's lucky to lose only that many yards. First man in on him, creating the pressure, was Anthony Romano. He was coming hard.
That was a jailbreak. John Halasek sent 6 on that one with 5 to block 6. It usually doesn't work out too well, and it didn't work out well there.
Clear path right there for Romano. Skolitsky has been just as busy punting tonight as he has been throwing the ball. Hits that one pretty well, takes a big hop. Oh, good downfield tackle. On the tackle, that was number 28 for Marist, Delonte Harrell. The return, Jack Martinez. I have a feeling Mr. Martinez thought he had something. All of a sudden his feet went out from underneath. 37-yard punt, no return.
And for those of you who did not join us for the 7A game, I have to reiterate my incredible respect for Dave Bernhardt, because if you thought the numbers were tough to read on Libertyville and Glenbard, well, I can't tell who's who on this Marist team because of the numbers on their jerseys.
Well, it's a team thing, right? We're all equal. There's Jack Loper with the carry. Loper, we talk about a guy that stuck with it. He injured his shoulder in a game on September 4th. He didn't come back until the quarterfinal game against Homewood Flossmoor, but he just kept sticking, knew he'd get a chance possibly playing his state championship game, and there he is. Loper, a 5'10", 210-pound senior. Again, the screen to the left side. And enough for the first down. Then your completion to Jonah Isaac. Jonah Isaac, a couple of kickoff returns for touchdowns in the regular season finale against Mount Carmel. Clifford on the deflection will be picked off. The interception will give the ball back to Marist. On the interception, it's Pat Gaynor.
You mentioned Clifford during his injury watching games from up in the press box. We do have the advantage of the wide field view here, but when he sees that one on tape, you'll know that's a ball he never should have thrown. The receiver was covered all the way. It was the deflection that led to the interception, but there was almost no chance to squeeze that ball in. That was a poor decision by Emmett Clifford to put that ball up in the first place.
First deflection was by Elijah Teague. For Clifford, you've seen something pretty unusual. Only his 6th interception of the season. But the REDHAWKS get the ball back, trailing just 7-0. Still looking for their initial first down. And a good carry on first down. Darshawn McCullough.
It looks none the worse for wear there. Hopefully it was just a bone bruise or something, maybe a funny bone that got him, because he looked to be in a lot of trouble with that right leg, but he is walking with a pretty clean gait right now.
Yeah, he turned the corner pretty well.
Yeah.
You can see where he has the capabilities of opening up the offense. They will look to put it in his belly. They'll look to put it in his hands. He's a threat all over the field, headed to South Dakota State. Skalitzky scores through a hole. And there's the first down of the night for Marist. Straight up the middle for the senior Brendan Skalitzky for 15 yards.
Talked about the size of that Loyola line. These guys no shrinking violets either. Bill Cuddick at 270, Billy Wagner at 260 at center, 225 Ben Chaffee, Tom O'Mara 245 at right guard, and at right tackle Brett Holder at 250. These are some big boys out here blocking on both sides.
And they are equally adept at run and pass blocking. And this time, nowhere to go as Bobby Deschereaux comes in from his free safety spot. Bobby Deschereaux, his dad Bo is a defensive line coach, also a Loyola alum. He played the 1992 state championship ball game. That also was one of the second place finishes for Loyola, one of their 3. The Ramblers did win a state title in 1993.
Deschereaux, the 3rd leading tackler on this team behind the 2 inside linebackers, Romano and Rep.
Second down and long for Skalitzky. And to the 45-yard line. Deschereaux with the stop. The catch is made by James Dunnigan, maybe the most underappreciated receiver for Marist. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass with 16 seconds against Barrington to cap off a 59-56 win for Marist. He gets 11 on that play.
A funny looking screenplay, because it clearly was a screen, but he only had 1 blocker out in front of him when he got out there. It was enough to pick up that first down, or not to pick up the first down, sorry, to get him about 7 yards.
And set up a manageable 3rd down. Clogged up, and that will leave Skalitzky a couple of yards short of the first down. And let's see what Pat Dunn does here. definite underdog in this ball game. A 4th and 2. He has his quarterback as his punter, so options aplenty. Skalitsky will drop to a semi-punting position. He gets it off in a hurry, pulls down a high snap. And an opportunity for a return. Joey Zatella. A flag down behind Zatella and another. He gets to the 40-yard line, but I think we're going to be walking this one back a little way.
Yeah, that's one of those where you wish you'd never thrown a block. When you see flags coming from every direction, it's obviously this is going to come back to, the flag is going to be at the 40. This place can go all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Joey Zatella comes off the field, transfer from Naperville North High School. His family had lived in Glencoe, moved to Naperville, and then moved on back. In fact, Loyola did not know Zatella has been a key member of the secondary as well as returning points. They didn't know he was going to be part of this Rambler crew until this past summer.
During the return, holding on the return team, number 5. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loyola keeps the ball. First down.
John Holisek had told us that the one place where he was having some trouble was filling out that secondary. Wasn't exactly sure what he was going to do. He got a pleasant surprise with Zatella, and he's played really good football for him.
Number 5 is Bobby Deschereaux, and he did get it.
He had all of that face mask and more on that one.
A 7-0 lead, final minute of the first quarter for Loyola. They scored on their opening drive. Elijah banging into people. He'll get 6 yards on first down.
I'll tell you, Dave, for 5'9", 180, this little guy runs in there pretty tough.
He does.
As you mentioned, it's not all speed with him. 180 pounds out of 5'9" frame can be packed pretty tight, especially when you're in high school.
Clifford had pulled out of his belly, and that's only good for about a yard.
These kids play this scheme so well. You don't see a lot of pure 3-4 defenses in high school. Remember, we saw
That's
that.
the end of the first quarter.
Saw that kind of weird 3-3-1 on the 7A game. We've got a 5-2 here that we're looking at with Marist, but pure NFL type 3-4 defense. These kids really know how to play.
Number 2 is Emmett Clifford. He scored the only touchdown of this game right there as we go to the second. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to help you get to where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. Dave Bernhard, Hub Arkish up top. Down below where it's cold is Kelly Kroll. Start the second quarter. Marist hanging in there. Big underdogs coming in tonight. Hub mentioned 6th place in East Suburban Catholic Conference. Close out the regular season, came into the playoffs with a 5-4 record. Loyola up there at the top all season long as Dara Laja will pick up that first down.
You got some laundry in the backfield, though, and that's where there's almost always offensive holding. The official picking it up, and I got a hunch this one's coming back again.
Yeah, you can see where he re-dropped the flag to make sure we're going to get the spot on the penalty.
Holding. 97 on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Still, third down.
So the excitement from the Loyola fans here on the near sideline tempered now as it backs up 10 yards. Number 97, that is Martin Geary. Big man, sophomore, 6'3", 250 pounds. We'll probably see him a little bit later, but he has quite a lineage. In terms of relatives that have played football in Chicago and in South Bend. Clifford on the move with some room to go, and he's going to get that penalty yards back, add some more, and the first down. Emmett Clifford doing it with his feet as he scored the opening touchdown of this game, and he gets this ball out near midfield.
And the great thing about that, Dave, was the decision. Once he saw that hole open, he put his head down. He went from 0 to 60 as quick as he could, and that's why he was able to get so much yardage out of that.
Loyola up and ready to go in a hurry, and they will cross midfield. They come at you from so many different directions. Laja will pound it. Clifford, as you say, make that great decisions. Clifford can make the throws to 4 different receivers. offensive unit that's averaged about 40 points per game. Field spread for Clifford to get a short run up the middle. It will be 3rd down and 3.
Really a little surprised. He comes in with 50 runs in 9 games. You figure about 4 or 5 a game. He's already run the ball 6 times tonight.
6 foot, 185-pound senior. He has time. Delivers to Thomas Smart, and he has enough for the first down. They'll spot it about the 40-yard line, but the Ramblers on the move. That is their 8th first down tonight. Clifford along with Laja. Smart look to the sideline. Clifford relays the play. To Smart on this quick slant. Close to a first down.
That's another thing that makes this passing game so dangerous. Thomas Smart, 6'3", 195. The tight end, Eric Eshu, going to Northwestern, 6'5", 225. Their H-back / tight end / wide receiver, Jake Marweedy, 6'5". He's got all these basketball targets. He can throw the ball up. That's how he got in trouble on the interception. He just thought Eshu was going to go up and get it. He just puts the ball up high and lets his receivers jump for it.
9 yards to Smart. Mix up there as Thomas Smart was looking to do some blocking.
I don't think he's ever been thrown to 3 times in a row. I thought that was going somewhere else.
Thomas Smart, a great baseball player at Loyola as well. Big-time baseball recruit, 3rd baseman. A couple of lacrosse players on this team as well for Loyola. Laja will have enough for that first down.
Another thing that I thought was interesting, talking to John Holisek, because these are these private Catholic institutions, students come from all over the city. We mentioned Jack Satella, moved out to Naperville, came back. John Holisek told us they have 80 different zip codes represented in the university. These kids come in having played against each other throughout their youth football careers. They come in as enemies and leave great friends.
Clifford looking for 6. Over the shoulder catch, Marweedy. Jake Marweedy. He wants to be a quarterback. He was battling Clifford for the quarterback job. Clifford won out, so all Marweedy does is become a wide receiver and a highly recruited one. 20 yards on that completion from Clifford to Marweedy.
Well, he was covered by Bobby Gorman out there, and Gorman gives up 6 inches to Marweedy. He just put the ball up over his head.
Nothing that you could do. Robert Tops at 3rd, close as well to the end zone, and that was in traffic. Intended for Marweedy. Again, coverage to Robert Tops. Robert Tops had key interception in the 38-35 win over Oswego in the quarterfinals. That's a big target. 6'5", 220. He'll run the Wildcat as well, if you want to call it that, when you get a man that size back there. He usually runs that in goal line situations. Inside the 10 here. Laja, wide open score. From 9 yards out in a 13-0 lead.
Interesting how they run this offense, Dave. On that play, we've seen it several times. Clifford gets them up to the line, they're set, and then he stops and turns and looks to the bench for another call. And I don't know if he's changing the play or what he's doing, but that one was just wide open. Nobody from Marist in the middle. Laja could have walked him.
When Clifford looks, all the other skill players look. The linemen just ready to do their job. Here's Patrick Tata, one of the great students in this school.
Nice block.
And he will have that extra point attempt block, and we will be stuck at a 13-0 lead for Loyola. The Ramblers march it down the field, and they go up 2 scores thanks to number 1, Dara Laja.
Media timeout.
Monday night, the Bulls return to the UC as they meet the Spurs for the first time this season. Coverage starts at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. $13-0 lead for Loyola over Marist. Kicking off is Patrick Tata. Started talking about how he's one of the most respected students at Loyola Academy. He volunteers at the Father Gary Graff Center in Waukegan, and what he does is he teaches English to Spanish-speaking immigrants. Also in the school choir, the lead in school play, and John Holisek said, you know, he's just flat out the type of kid you want to have at your school. Tata will also play a little linebacker as well, but his expertise has come with that right foot.
Dave, I believe, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the return across the 32-yard line, return at 20.
I believe it was Rob Topps who got the block on that extra point. Now that almost loomed large in the 7A game right down to the wire. It was a 6-point ball game. But Marist is going to have to get something untracked on offense to have it be a factor in this one. So far, Loyola has had all the answers to the Marist offense.
That was Taylor Weaver on the return, and it's time right now for Marist to get this offense rolling. They've been held to just 31 yards in offense. They'll get a bit more there to McCullough. McCullough thrown down, about an 8-yard pickup. That's what they want to do, get number 25 out in space. Delivered quickly to McCullough. He's tracked down there by Bobby Deschereaux. Skolitsky avoids Deschereaux in the backfield and will be close to that first down. You know, you mentioned earlier, Hub, that Bobby Deschereaux, free safety, third in the team in tackles. You can see why he comes on several different plays.
He does, and again, the advantage of that 3-4 defense is there's a lot of different looks that Holisek will give you. Those outside linebackers can drop into coverage. You can bring a safety inside. You can drop an inside linebacker and blitz a corner off the edge. They're doing it all. They run this just like an NFL defense, and very impressive the way they're executing.
Third down right now that Marist really needs. They need 3 feet. And Skolitsky will not get it. He will lose a little on that play, and another fourth down here, 4th and short for Pat Dunn, who now trails by a couple of touchdowns for Marist.
The most remarkable thing about this defense, Dave, you already mentioned it, Ben Leroy, the defensive end, the only returning starter from last year. You've got 10 first-time starters here playing the state championship game.
And this could be big-time trouble. Loyola will have the ball inside the 15-yard line.
You know, Dave, we saw that coming, and I meant to mention every deep snap so far from that long snapper has been high. Skolitsky had to go up and get it. That one was too high. He couldn't get up there, but all 4 long snaps so far have been high.
A game against a team that is just powered through the season. You can not have mistakes, and Skolitsky wasn't even ready for it, and he wouldn't have had a chance at it even if he had been. Skolitsky right there just falling on it prevented a possible score. Let's see how Loyola attacks. On the ground. Raja had an opening. It was closed quickly.
Apparently this is, I've never seen this before, but Clifford, he gets him up there. He starts barking signals, and then he stops. He looks to the sideline. He gets something. He takes a step up to the line to tell the lineman what he's doing. And it's working, whatever they're doing. I wonder why they go at it this way, though.
I would like to know what he's saying, like right now, right there. He'll take that snap immediately. Raja turned away before he got to the 10-yard line. David Tashina, number 95, on the bottom of that pile and making his way off it. There's Tashina 95, 94, Deotta Drayton. They go 220 and 240. Catch is made by Eshu, but he'll be about a yard short of the first down. It will be 4th down at the 6.
Well, they're the leaders. Loyola has tried 6 field goals so far this year. We're not seeing a lot of teams, but they're not going to do it either. They're in 4-down territory.
Need a couple of yards with a 13-0 lead. Marist will not bite on jumping. Loyola has to get to the 4. Laja will get that more. His second touchdown of the day. And the lead goes to 19-0 on the 6-yard touchdown run from Dara Laja.
Pretty much a finely tuned machine right now. You look at the hole that Laja sees there, 71, leading him through the hole. When you've got your right guard, Thomas Lee, doesn't have to throw a block. He just escorted him into the end zone. It's kind of like stealing.
That gets this one through. It is a 20-0 Loyola Academy lead. Dara Laja, a couple of touchdown runs here in the second quarter. This on 4th and 2, a 6-yard burst up the middle.
Media timeout.
It is a full moon over DeKalb and Northern Illinois University here tonight. I mean, not as glamorous as some other places, but quite the sight indeed. Clear night, it is cold. We are in the low 30s. And we are in the 20s for Loyola, 20-0 lead over Marist. Nice little hop there at the very end, a little bit of room to run to the 35-yard line. Let's go down to Kelly Kroll. She has a special story for us.
Yeah, guys, well, for all the hard work this team does on the field, the Ramblers do a lot of really great work off of it, too. They partner with Misericordia, which is a community that provides care for people with developmental disabilities. Every summer, the residents get to go through practice with Loyola players and coaches. This right here is Patrick Nicholson, the brother of Rambler Mark Nicholson, and he's actually become an assistant coach helping the Ramblers the past few years, but a lot of members from this community get to attend a home game in the fall and hang out with the team over a pizza party, but just a really great program that Loyola Academy has been involved in.
Deep pass down the middle, biggest play of the day for Marist. Back to Kelly's story after that 41-yard pass to McCullough. It is a program and a thing that Loyola takes so much pride in, that they're able to give back in that way.
And NFL fans watching today might also know that it is the charity or organization of choice for Mike Ditka as well, as the coach spends a lot of time with Misericordia.
There you go. Congratulations, sir. Your team's on top. They just saw a big play go against him. Skolitsky to McCullough moments ago. He's going to throw this one up. A wobbler. And a flag is coming out. An obvious interference call will go against Ian Swenson.
If Ian Swenson didn't do that on purpose, he should have, because it was going to be a touchdown. So take the 15 yards and keep the ball out of the end zone. He was beaten badly and never turned to look for the ball, and all he could do was run that receiver over.
Liam Pfeffer would have had those 6 points had it not been for that defensive play.
You look at the problems of Marist right now.
Pass interference, defense, number 3. Half of this is to the goal. The yardage is all to the first down.
We talked about Brendan Skolitsky, a great double threat quarterback, 1,067 yards on the ground, just 8 yards or 7 yards on 8 carries tonight, so he's got to go to the air. And again, the obvious interference there from Swenson.
2 plays have covered a huge chunk of territory here on this Brigham Field turf at Husky Stadium. Be a few more here inside the 10. Completion that time to Seamus Glascott. First catch of the night for Glascott. He came in with 63 receptions on the season. 4 4.5 play here in the first half. This would be big if Marist can get in the end zone here.
They're certainly the comeback kids. We know that, Dave. You know, at 5-4 in 6th place, here they're on a 4-game winning streak in the state title game. They can come back and make this interesting. They've shown that ability.
Yeah, this is not a team that'll get down on themselves. They'll just dig a little deeper. Skaletsky, and there it is. The quick score, 6-yard touchdown pass. It goes to James Dunnigan. And that drive didn't take long. But hang on, there is a flag in the backfield.
Illegal block below the waist. Number 75, offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of foul. Replay, second down.
15-yard penalty and yardage, 6 points on the scoreboard. Number 75 for Marist, Thomas O'Mara. You'll see him right here.
Boy, that's a tough call. He put his shoulder pads on the thigh pads. That looks like a pretty good block. I realize you want to protect these young men in high school, but that is a shame because I'm not sure that I would have thrown the flag on that one.
Now the REDHAWKS will just have to get up and get back and doing it again. Skaletsky in trouble. Somehow is able to get the ball off. He was being chased by Frank Doherty.
Maybe one of his most impressive plays of the night. I thought he was down for sure, but he managed to get away and at least save the lost yardage that would come with the sack.
He had that very sneaky awareness type speed. He just half a step ahead. It's 3rd and 25 now. And there was a tie-up, and had 6 players around the ball. Liam Keffer went down. He's a little gimpy getting up.
He is. He got run over by the defender, but he's at the line of scrimmage. You got to cross the line before you can look for any kind of interference. Just either poorly executed or poorly designed play.
They needed 25 yards for a first down. In effect, they have to get into the end zone on that play, and now a 4th down. Marist got down here in a hurry. A penalty wiped out a touchdown. Now Skaletsky. He will look. Marist fans wanted some interference. There will be none. And Loyola will take over, keeping the REDHAWKS out of the end zone. This will be coming right to you. Deschereaux on the coverage of Keffer. Keffer was looking for a flag. None to be had.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he thought he was going to get there. I didn't really see it. This looked like pretty good coverage, a slightly overthrown ball. Absolute shame on that chop block call on number 75. You know, it's a questionable call, but it takes points off the board and gives the ball back to Loyola.
See if the Ramblers look to strike here in the last 3:50 and try to do it quickly. Short yardage on first down. Daralaja will give you all the numbers at halftime, but it is his 13th carry of the night. He's up over 60 yards. Clifford has completed 9 of 15 passes for 92 yards. Stay on the ground. Looking for a block ahead of him. Laja across the 45-yard line. A big gain for Daralaja. He'll scoot it out there for 17 yards.
Watch the acceleration on this, Dave. We mentioned maybe not great stopwatch speed, but he turns that corner, and now he just pops out of there. He turns that great 0 to 60 that you look in the really good running backs. Right here, as he goes by that last diving tackler, is where he really accelerates past several potential tacklers.
Dara getting some collegiate interest. A Rambler flat on his back. Appear to be possibly a cramp the way they're working that toe. Jack Bedovanak on the ground. He is the younger brother of Sam Bedovanak. Oh, you gave their sizes earlier. Both of them 250 pounders. They're cousins of former Loyola star quarterback Peter Bedovanak. And he gets nice hand as he is assists to his feet and comes off the field.
And two more of the young men that John Holisack singled out for their toughness, talked about how tough they are in the middle of that offensive line. All that stuff you see going between the tackles is going behind those two.
Boy, that looks like more than just a cramp when you don't put any weight on it there.
Yeah, it's that left leg. A lot of these kids have been watching too much NFL stuff. They should have long sleeve shirts on. Look at all the bare arms you see out there, man. You're not impressing anybody. You're just cold, you know.
Yeah, I have the farthest thing from bare arms here tonight. That's from what the Clifford on the move to the right side. Now to the left, sets it up to Laja. Laja finds an opening, scoots to the outside and gets out of bounds. Stopping the clock, 2:52 to play, 19 yards. Nicely executed play.
Again, that quick burst, really impressive. And you know, we mentioned not the biggest kid in the field, 5'9", 180, but he is thick. Take a look at him and see where he could be a tough little running back.
Loyola quickly to the line. Laja again. Good first down yardage. Loyola has all 3 timeouts remaining if they need it. Once again, Laja runs over a man. First down inside the 15.
Also showed great patience there, Dave. Another thing you look for in a running back. He got to the line of scrimmage, waited for his blocker to seal the block off, and then burst off the outside. But he took a full second pause back there, letting the block develop first.
Another double-digit run for Laja. That one goes for 13 yards. And again. Laja running behind John Brecky. 6'3", 260-pound tackle. There are Laja's numbers tonight. Couple of touchdowns here in the second quarter. I believe that timeout will be called. Marist got it. The official in the sideline of Marist got that timeout. Want to get this defense settled here in the final 80 seconds of the first half.
You know, Dave, really nothing surprising about the workload for Dara Laja. 254 regular season carries. You got Kyle Rock had just 64 carries. Jake Marweedy, I should say, 23 carries. Jack Loper, another running back, didn't get the football. So clearly the workhorse of this offense is Dara Laja. And tonight, 17 carries, already over 100 yards in the first half.
Laja was on the team a couple of years ago when Loyola finished second. This play has taken up 2.5 minutes. 65 yards. Loyola already on top by 3 scores. Well, in 2011, it was a 21-17 loss to Bolingbrook 2 years ago right here on this field. Naperville Central got the best of the Ramblers 13-10. And you mentioned it prior to the game, Hub, that this game obviously very important for John Hollisek. I mean, that's too obvious to even say that. I mean, it's a state championship, but for Hollisek and the Loyola fans, it's like we really need to get this one.
Well, and remember the legacy of the Buffalo Bills. Now, when John got there, the Super Bowl run was over, but the only team in history to go to 4 straight Super Bowls, the only team in history to lose 4 straight Super Bowls. And so clearly it's got to be weighing on Hollisek a little bit.
Clifford on a little play action. Ooh, misfired, looking for Isaac. Just about 6 inches, a little bit too far in front of Jonah Isaac.
Pretty well defensed out there, though. Even if he catches that ball, I'm not sure he's going to get it into the end zone.
Going to a 3rd down here. 1 touchdown in the first quarter. That was a Clifford 4-yard run, a 9-yard and a 6-yard run from Laja here in the second quarter. Laja. So kind of reached that ball out just to get as much as he could. He didn't get enough for the first down. He'll be a yard short. Okay, hang on, folks. You make the tackle here. Come on, get him. Go get him.
That's a great camera shot.
Yeah,
great work by our camera folks down there.
That all looks easy when you're sitting up here, but when you're down there field level, not so much.
Give hats off to our buddy Kelly, too, because she's got the rough duty, man. It is chilly down there. I mean, we're in an open booth up here. It's a little cool, but at least we got walls on 3 sides. Kelly's down there battling the elements and doing a great job for us.
And we will hear from these coaches during our halftime segment. Loyola taking this timeout. Ramblers need a yard plus here to pick up the first down. You know, and this is a big score if they can get it for them. Yeah, they're leading 20-0 right now. There's just something about a 4-touchdown difference at the half.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we hope that Marist has a great second half. You'd love to see a competitive football game, but they've dug a pretty deep hole, and they give up this last score. You just have to wonder what the mood's going to be like in that line. Know what the mood's going to be like in that locker room at halftime. How do they overcome that?
3 touchdown drives already tonight for Loyola, resulting in 3 short touchdown runs. An interception ended 1 drive, but otherwise been pretty solid work. Last touchdown drive, 7 plays, 44 yards. Make that 4 plays and 14 yards. First drive was 7 for 44. Need a yard here for a first down. May have been a little bit early movement.
The entire left side of the line, I would say, gets that false start.
That was your Wildcat formation. That's your Wildcat quarterback, Jake Marweedy.
Prior to snap, false start, offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That was the ideal.
Please put 1 minute, 11 seconds on the clock.
That was the ideal situation to use the big man in that Wildcat formation, knowing he needed a yard, and he was going to be running behind the big man Martin Geary, 6'3", 250, who now sprints off the field as Clifford back on. Clifford rifles it in. Touchdown, Jonah Isaac. The 9-yard touchdown pass makes it a 4-touchdown difference.
I was going to ask the question, Dave, how come none of these schools try field goals in high school football? But I think I just got my answer. You spread it out like that. It is awfully tough with those 5 big targets for Clifford to pick from.
There was no doubt about that one. Drilled it right into the hands of Isaac, and he took it in the last couple of yards. That's a pretty happy bunch right there. Jonah Isaac getting a touchdown, a state championship ball game. Tada knocks it home, and it is a 27-0 lead with 67 seconds left to play here in the first half. Isaac, his third catch of the night. It comes on 4th down. 20 points scored here in the second quarter for Loyola. Marist had a touchdown called back by way of penalty. And instead, the Ramblers come right down. Not only do they stop them defensively, they come down the field and finish it off.
And while it is, of course, going to be a long halftime, a long evening, it looks like for the folks from Marist, you've got to be impressed with this Loyola group. They have come out and executed just flawlessly. I hate to keep making the analogy because of John Holisek's pass, but they almost look like a professional team. I mean, you know, they're doing anything they want. They're adjusting at the line of scrimmage, and you just don't see any mistakes with these guys.
Well, the one thing that John Holisek has mentioned, you know, he's an old timer. I put quotation marks around that, but he mentions how technology now has made it so much better for coaches to work harder and more efficiently, and it's paid off.
And that hard work in particular, I asked him of all the things that you got from Marv Levy. And Wade Phillips, of course, was just here with the Denver Broncos against the Bears a couple weeks ago as their defensive coordinator. He said the main thing they taught me is to always outwork anybody we play, and that the technology has really allowed them to work harder than other teams because they're always getting more information than they run down.
No room to go on that squib kick, or not. Maybe there is. Boy, good effort by Dennis Dickman. He was stopped a couple of times. Dickman will get credit for a 12-yard return. He had no business getting that many yards.
I thought he was down or going down. He was with 3 different tacklers. He just broke and came all the way back across the field to pick up another 10, 12 yards.
Speaking of that Loyola coaching staff and all the hard work, there's also a lot of loyalty there. 7 members of the coaching staff graduated from Loyola Academy. Injured player Mickey Kane walk off the field. He's okay. Marist only 1 timeout remaining. They'll have to go about 65 yards for a score. One big play tonight. That was a long pass to Darshawn McCullough. They need a couple of those right here to put themselves back in a workable position. Scalizzi tonight 5 of 13 for 72 yards. That will stop the clock. McCullough with the reception.
You can see it in the body language of these Marist kids, Dave. They're kind of, McCullough not real happy coming off the sideline on that. They are going to get a talking to, I would think, at halftime, and at least come out and give the best performance that they can.
Scalizzi has room to run if he wants it. First down, the Loyola side of the 50.
He was thinking like a quarterback there. He stayed as long as he could. He was looking for something big, wanted to get more, and then just ran out of room, had to go for the first down.
He picked up 7, stopped the clock.
He really only had 1 receiver to that side of the field. That's when he realized he had to go get that first down and get out of bounds.
Quickly, they'll run the screen that side. And that clock continues to run. Didn't get enough for the first down. Seamus Glasgow will pop to his feet after catching that one, and it's set again. Clock we're under 30 seconds. Not much room there on that far sideline. Bobby Deschereaux there. Also under coverage against Swenson. Graham Rupp dropped out back in coverage.
That was really just a 3-receiver route, and one of the receivers was just a safety out in the flat. He only had 2 receivers down the field, while Loyola dropped 7 into coverage. There was going to be nothing there for him on that one.
Under pressure.
Ball's out.
Picking it up and on the move is Anthony Romano.
Ball's out again.
Loyola will have it. The clock stopped with 3 seconds left. Anthony Romano, the fumble return. And give credit, the big old 93 cross to Fada. 200-pound outside linebacker. Here's a look back.
So Romano's got it here, and he's trucking down the field, but he's going to fumble at the end of the run. Although that wasn't really a fumble. I think the ground caused that one.
There's assessed for this. Loyola ties the ball. First down.
On the strip, it was Jack Howe. Loyola will get one crack at it here with 3 seconds to play in the half.
See Anthony Romano not really used to running with the football there. As soon as he hit the ground, the ball came out. He didn't have it tucked away very well, but it was the ground that caused the fumble. Well, I guess with no replay, they could have lost that ball because the official would really go the other way.
Timeout. Marist.
So the
That was their
REDHAWKS
third and final timeout.
use that final timeout. They want to make sure they have this right. Anthony Romano has been all over the field tonight. Came into this game 109 tackles, 3 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, has an interception, and here tonight a fumble recovery. One turnover the other way. Marist, an interception in the first quarter by Matt Gaynor.
A really nice job of team defense by Loyola so far. Romano clearly the leader of the group. We've called Graham Repp's name a number of times. Cross to Fada with the play there. Joey Zatella, the safety that we talked about. And Big Ben Leroy up front, the only returning starter. Again, John Holisek said that he's had players more mobile than the 6'3", 265-pound defensive end, but he's never had one stronger. Calls him his two-gap warrior.
We're talking about Anthony Romano. Alex Romano, the brother, was on the 2009 team. And Marist uses that timeout in a big way. They drop Clifford for a loss. They will keep Loyola out of the end zone, and two teams will head to the locker room with the 27-0 difference. Well, that was a pride sack right there.
Held up a blitz and got there on time, and hopefully a difference maker. At least it's a 4-touchdown game. You'd hate to give up one more score at the half.
Emmett Clifford, a little bit of encouragement there from his head coach as they head off the field, and the fellas in the white jerseys will have to regroup. Let's go to Kelly Kroll.
Thanks a lot, guys, here with Coach Holisek. Well, let's start with the defense. That was a big play from there at the very end, but to hold this team scoreless through the first half, how happy are you with that?
You can imagine watching film all week and all-state quarterback with dynamic receivers and running back. To have a shutout at this point is very rewarding for our defense. Worried all week, but they're a dangerous team, a lot of weapons, so we still a little worried, and we'll see what happens in the second half, but we're still going to have to play a full 20 more minutes.
Well, Dara Laja doing a lot of the damage offensively, but Emmett Clifford also just setting the tone for this team. You mentioned it earlier in the week, but in terms of their execution tonight, how happy so far? You
gotta love our offensive line has been our heart all season, and it shows. Dara and those guys are just meshed together really well, and as long as we keep on moving them off the ball, we feel good, and that's been consistent all season.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck in the second half. Coach Holisek and Loyola Academy up 27-0 here at a halftime over Marist, and of course pretty happy with his team here in the first half. A whole second half to play here in a minute. Halftime halftime here in DeKalb of the 8A state championship game. Loyola Academy in front of Marist 27-0. A big half for Daralaja. We'll go over some of the other crowned champions from this weekend in just a moment. But a year after dislocating his neck playing football, Watsika senior Hayden Schomburg is nearly back to normal. Brett Burns from WCIA 3 in Champaign caught up with Hayden, and he has more on his incredible recovery and the long road back to becoming Hayden Strong.
Growing up, Hayden Schomburg always knew he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. Farming is a way of life for the Schomburgs, who have been harvesting crops in Iroquois County since the early 1900s. But last year, everything was put on hold.
I wouldn't wish what we went through on anybody.
It was second to last game our season. We were playing Clifton Central. Sitting in the locker room, I just felt so uneasy. I just kind of felt very anxious. And little did I know that, my whole life was going to get changed in about 8 minutes.
On the opening kickoff of the second half, Hayden lowered his head, making a tackle. He dislocated his C4 and C5 vertebrae in his neck. He laid motionless on the field with a compressed spinal cord.
I didn't know what to do. I was just instantly terrified. True fear.
I seen Clint, my husband, instantly run out on the field. I knew the instant when he ran down there that it was, something big.
I just yelled. I said, Dad, where are you, Dad? I said, Dad, I'm just so scared.
Schomburg was taken to St. Mary's Hospital in Kankakee, where his family, friends, and teammates met up with him.
I said, if this is the end, it's been a pleasure playing with you. And they said, well, don't think like that, don't think like that.
Hayden was placed on life support after being transported to Loyola Hospital later that night. 2 plates and 4 screws were inserted in his neck during a 10-hour surgery. The next few days were difficult. He had little to no feeling from his chest down and had to be brought back to life 3 different times.
They had actually lost him, then they resuscitated. Well, then he, had gotten an air leak. His breathing, was just so shallow, which is very common with a spinal cord injury. Over time, Schomburg started to regain feeling in his shoulders and arms.
I remember my arm started to come back, and I remember practicing just setting my arm up and grabbing the post on the bed. And that's where it began, the hard work and the ambition to go that extra minute, to walk that extra step, to do that extra rep, to get back to where I am now.
Hayden started therapy shortly thereafter at Shriners Hospital in Chicago. One night, a few weeks in, he felt the urge to move his legs.
So I thought about moving it, and I did. I fired my quad muscle, and I just lit up. I remember yelling, and I was like, Mom, guess what happened? Guess what I just did?
From that point on, Schomburg was determined not to let anything stop him from achieving his goals.
I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm going to walk out of this joint. I'm going to take the stairs. I said, that's my goal.
And after more than 100 days in the hospital, Hayden did just that.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
No rush. Okay.
Did it, buddy. Proud of you. He's truly a walking miracle.
All too often you get a story like mine, you don't ever get a happy ending out of the thing. And for me, I've still got, the story continues, and I've still got a lot of work to do, and I've still got a lot of goals that I want to achieve. But for me, 1 year down the road, being back at school, back on my feet, when, back then the doctor said, that's probably not ever going to happen again, and you're going to have to accept that. Going from then to now, that's my happy ending.
What an inspirational young man. Thank you for that story, Brett, and continued success to you, Hayden Schomburg. Well, 2 teams still looking to achieve their main goal of a state championship. It is the 8A title game, and we are at halftime. Loyola Academy in front of Marist, 27-0. We'll come back with a recap of all of the state champions here in just a minute. Welcome back to Husky Stadium here on the campus of Northern Illinois University, the home of the 2015 IHSA Football State Finals here in Illinois. Halftime of the 8A championship, you saw Loyola Academy in front. Here are the champions throughout the weekend. 1A Arcola defeated Stark County, and 2A Tri-Valley bringing home their first title in school history over Auburn. 3A Bishop McNamara over Unity 50-7 in the 4A championship. Phillips defeating Altop, also making history. Phillips, the first Chicago public league school to ever win a championship. And then this afternoon we began with Class 5A, and Nazareth Academy defeated Lincoln Way West 42-21, followed by Montini Catholic defeating Crete Moni 38-15. The 7A championship we just saw a few hours ago. Glenbard West, Sam Brodner, a huge night as his team defeated Libertyville. And in our 8A championship game, Loyola Academy up 27-0 over Marist. A second half to go, and I got a feeling we're going to talk to REDHAWKS coach here in just a few minutes and hear what he told his guys in the halftime speech to have them ready for the next 24 minutes of football. We are here in DeKalb for the 8A championship.
Great to have you with us here on a Saturday night in DeKalb. Dave Bernhardt along with Hub Arkush. You've heard from Kelly Krull, and Hub 27-0. Loyola came here. Their offense, of course, high-powered all season long. Their defense is excellent, but to hold Marist, a team with 430 total yards per game and 38 points per game, to shut them out in the first half, that's quite the story.
Well, yeah, and even beyond that, Dave, you look at the run defense of Loyola, they're showing a negative 14 yards on the ground for Marist. Now, that's misleading. There was the high snap over Sklitsky's head on the punt, but on the actual attempts, 11 carries for 12 yards. Deshaun McCullough with just 1 carry, but Brendan Sklitsky 10 carries for 5 yards. Loyola has absolutely taken away their ground game, and Marist has not been able to get anything untracked on offense.
Kelly Krull is down with head coach Pat Dunn.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, Coach, at halftime, I mean, I would assume the way this team keeps coming back, that had to have been your message at halftime.
Absolutely. I mean, we know that obviously they capitalized on some plays there, and we're sticking to what we're doing, and we've been in these positions before, and believe in each other.
With Dara Laja, I know that's a guy you'd probably like to cover, slow down a little bit more. Anything we can expect change-wise?
Well, you know what? I mean, we've got to, as far as that goes, we've got to make our stops, and then we've got to, capitalize on our drives. That's the thing. We want to finish our drives offensively, and obviously we want to stop him, and again, make some big stops right there and capitalize on finishing our drives right there.
Once again, very calm and poised here from you, Coach. I'm sure they're following your lead. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There you go, guys. Marist trying to make up some ground here in the second half as they trail 27-0 to Loyola Academy. But they have been the comeback kids this year. We'll see what the next 24 minutes of football has in store for us.
27-0 Loyola, and here's how we got here through the first half of play. The Ramblers under quarterback Emmett Clifford. First possession, it's Clifford himself, a 4-yard touchdown run for a 7-0 lead. That's how first quarter ended, but then the second quarter became all Ramblers and became all Dara Laja. Had a 9-yard touchdown run for Laja about 3 minutes in, and about 3 minutes later, 6-yard touchdown run, 20-0 Loyola. And on fourth down, the fourth score of the night, that short pass from Clifford to Isaac, a 27-0 advantage. And here are some numbers that will kind of explain the story. Hub, you kind of referred to these a little bit earlier. Look at the balance, though, offensively for Loyola.
Great job by Emmett Clifford of running this offense, and Dara Laja appeared to be the complete package. Not exceptional speed, but great quickness, great vision, great patience, all the things you want in an outstanding running back. Over 100 yards in the first half. We saw Sam Brodner go off for 264 in the first game that we did, the 7A game earlier at 4 o'clock. Don't know that Laja gets there, but again, the star of the football game appears to be the running back from the team on the lead.
Under a full moon here tonight on a clear and crisp evening. Loyola will get the ball first here to start the second half. Jonah Isaac deep. Mentioned earlier, he had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns against Mount Carmel. He will never see this ball, and a flag is thrown on the far sideline as the return by the up man, Martinez, and this may be coming back a little bit.
Pretty safe bet there. You're going to get a block in the back or a hold, one or the other.
During the return, holding, return team number 4. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loyola keeps the ball. First down.
Yeah, that opened up along the left sideline a little bit too easily that time for Martinez. 26 yards if it had stood up. Here it is again. Martinez right there on the edge.
You know, obviously, Dave, we have no rooting interest up here, but you really would love to see Marist come out here and get a stop just for the young men to get something to hang on to. I don't know if they're coming all the way back, but we'd love to see them be able to compete here in the second half.
They got that stop there at the end of the first half that when Loyola had one opportunity for it, but they will look to establish something here early, as will the Ramblers, and that was good coverage right there from Taylor Weaver, the intended receiver, David Terrell.
It was good coverage, but the Ramblers coming out and going for the juggler. Well, with that 4-man diamond bunch to the far side on the left, David Terrell all by himself on the right, and they try and hit the home run on the first play of the second half.
140 yards of total offense for Emmett Clifford in the first half, all-state quarterback. Missed a huge chunk of last year with a broken collarbone. First carry by Jack Loper. Loper actually had a carry earlier in this ball game. You know, we saw Clifford's numbers. Had 11 completions in the first half. They went to 6 different receivers.
Interesting call on that play. And I don't know if Clifford did this on his own or got from the sideline, but it looked like he had a pass on. Marist faked a blitz off the end, checked into a run there, and got a nice gain.
Loper on the receiving end of that pass. He is flipped down to the ground. Robert Tops the third. Nothing doing, no gain on this one.
Called number 21 quite a bit tonight from Marist. Robert Tops, one young man on that defense, having a good evening for himself.
And he's just a junior. He'll be back. Loper again. Jack Loper getting the ball here early to start the second half. And after that, taken out by Big Deotta Drayton, a 6'1", 240-pound junior. Ramblers pushing the tempo here to start the third quarter. And let's see where the spot will be. Thomas Smart on the receiving end. You got as good a look as we do right there with those chains.
Yeah, not a great spot, but enough to move the chains. They will get another fresh set of downs.
Thomas Smart, the great third down receiver. You know, you want to get the yardage you need with good hands. That's the man to go to right there, number 86. Play action over the middle. Marweedy right there all the way down to the 20-yard line. 36 yards from Clifford to Marweedy. He has come up big on the receiving end tonight.
That outstanding separation from the defensive back on that particular play. Not great speed, just a great route. You'll see Clifford drops the ball in between two receivers, but the defenders, I should say, but again, the separation.
Again, Clifford is yanked down. Make that Loper yanked down. Give him credit for about 6 inches on that carry.
John Holisek working the sidelines. He wants more. There's no question about that. They're going to take everything they need to make sure they don't come up short for the third time in 4 years.
Nice hole there for Loper, and it will be third down and a manageable 6 yards to go.
lot of work for Loper tonight. I don't know if I missed something on the stat sheet, but it looked to me like he had not gotten a lot of carries from scrimmage coming into this game this evening.
Again, play action. Marwidi the catch. Great hands, great size. Jake Marwidi, just a junior.
And a defensive back playing the man because he didn't see the ball. That ball got tipped and hung up there for a long time, and that was Robert Tops again. Didn't know the ball was hanging up there and went for Marwidi instead. He might have had himself a pick if he had identified that football floating out there.
6 yards, enough for a first down. Clifford. Ooh, he ran a big white jersey, sticking him right in the middle. Elijah Teague, number 52, 6'2", 285, and a sophomore. There's Deanna Drayton. Elijah Teague, a lot of people interested in him already. In that size, quickness, and youth.
Pretty nice size in the middle of that line, Dave. 240 on Drayton, 285 on Teague. Maybe not the place Clifford wants to go.
Now when Clifford goes 185. Loper picking a hole. Running behind that offensive line we have talked about tonight. Marist player is down at about the 6-yard line. Number 32, Jack Loper, will head to the sidelines. And we will head to a break. Opening drive here of the third quarter. Ramblers on the move with a 27-0 lead.
Media timeout.
Long 2 days of football here. 8 champions to be crowned by the time this one is concluded. Coverage here on Comcast Sportsnet. About 12 hours continuously each day.
David Tashina, the injured defensive end for Marist. We hope that he will do okay. They're talking to him on the sideline now.
Marwidi powers it in. Jake Marwidi. That will be his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And Loyola has gone over the 30-point mark.
Not much to break down there, Dave. That's power on power, size on size. He did. There was an arm tackle in the hole, but that's not going to stop Marwidi. He's a big kid, 6'5", 220 pounds, and once he got through that arm tackle in the backfield, nobody was keeping him out of the end zone.
I will send it through. So the Ramblers take the opening kickoff. They drive at the field. 77 yards. They used up the first 4 minutes and 44 seconds of this third quarter on 12 plays. And right there, that is Loyola Rambler football. Now it's time for Marist to respond. And this is tough. You know, you go into the locker room with down by 27. You know, you get the talk. We heard Pat Dunn said you're going to stick with it. But then when a team just takes it right down on you, then you've got to really suck it up from here.
Yeah, there are going to be days like today, and let's be honest, it is unlikely that Marist is coming back to win this football game, but it is still the last game in a number of these young men's careers. And they're on TV throughout Chicago and the state of Illinois, and they've got a chance to go out there and have some fun and make some plays, and hopefully Pat Dunn will be able to get his young men to do that.
Seamus Glasgow along with Darshawn McCullough. Deep for the REDHAWKS. McCullough. He gets it across the 20-yard line. 13-yard return for McCullough. Loyola adding lost 77 yards onto their halftime yardage total, now outgaining Marist 329 to 73. And the last thing Marist wants right here is a 3-and-out. REDHAWKS this year with 4 losses. They lost the opener to Mount Carmel, she said, by just 1 touchdown. A 4-point loss to Bennett Academy. 62-45 loss to Nazareth Academy. That's your 5A champion here this year. And then a 1 touchdown difference loss to Joliet Catholic Academy. Those are some awfully tough teams. Skalitsky floating it downfield, and an interception to be had, and it wasn't. Joey Zatella. Oh, and he's thinking this was my chance. There's the Marist schedule, and you take a look, say, oh, 4 losses in the regular season, but guess what? 4 wins in the postseason. First 3 by 3 points each for the 15-point win over Waubonsee Valley. Good coverage on the play once again. They were looking for Liam Kepfer. Sam Taylor was right there with him.
Really have to give Pat Dunn and Marist credit. There's games on that schedule they don't have to schedule. No. They're going out against the best competition they can find in the state. And, you know, people shouldn't be too surprised. You play those good teams that tough that they can get on a streak like they have to get here.
Well, you're in the East Suburban Catholic Conference. That's tough, but you do not have to play Mount Carmel in game number 1. They played that at Soldier Field, and so obviously there's a perk there. But it's a battle-tested 4-loss team that came here to the state final. It's only the 5th time 4-loss team has made it here to the championship game. Only 2 of those previous 4 have won a state title. And that is a Loyola defense right there that came to play here.
They're smelling blood in the water now,
yeah,
Dave. They're not getting blocked up front, and you know, you feel, again, these are 16, 17, 18-year-old young men who are on TV, and they're down 34 points, and they've got to find a way to suck it up and give their quarterback a chance.
Skalitsky once again will punt.
Every one of those snaps.
And that's going to result in actually a pretty good roll. Yeah, he has really had to work back there tonight. 46-yard line is where Loyola will have it. 6:55 to play in the 3rd quarter. Ramblers on top by 34. Tuesday night, the Blackhawks hit home ice for a Central Divisional battle with the Minnesota Wild. Coverage starts at 6:30 on CSN Chicago. And it will be a lot warmer for a lot of those folks out there. Loyola stands that they will get home, turn on CSN, and watch the Hawks. Looking for it all here early. Great throw, great catch. Thomas Smart inside the 20.
I know what some of you are thinking, but you cannot fault Loyola and John Holisek for that. They're playing in the state championship game. They worked all year to get here. There's 6:49 left in the 3rd quarter. You've got to play football. You've got to play your game. And Loyola, at least on tonight, is just clearly the better football team. It's that simple.
28 yards on 1st down to Smart. This is a Loyola program that finished 2nd in the odd years, 11 and 13. They're looking to win it all here in the 3rd odd year of 15. Saw Jack Loper in the 1st possession of the 2nd half in the backfield. Now Dara Laja returns. No gain on 1st down. Laja burst through to the 10. 1st and goal. 13-yard run for Laja. It's up to 119 yards and 20 carries.
I gotta believe that there is a college out there somewhere playing football that would like to see this young man get a shot. We don't know exactly where it would be yet. He is undersized, 5'9", 180, but boy, he's got a lot of tools.
Clifford halfway there. This quarter dominated by Loyola.
You know, the entire game, for the most part, has been played on Marist's half of the field. The field position has been unbelievable. I think Loyola's only started in their own end twice.
I'm trying to think Marist may have only been in Loyola's side one time. This is Loper. He's going to be cut down short. Jack Loper may have thought he had something there. And was shut down quickly.
It's the old adage, low man usually wins, and somebody knifed underneath and got him around the ankles because it looked like he was going to walk into the end zone.
Loper and Clifford get their play call. Third down and goal. Roper's not going to get there. See, they'll spot him at the 1. Marweedy will come back in. The big man will play a little quarterback here. Look at that, Loper bent back at the last moment. So Marweedy back in. On 4th and goal. Marweedy pushes, drives. You're not going to stop him. Second touchdown run of this quarter for Jake Marweedy. It's a 40-0 lead for Loyola. That is power football here in the first 8 minutes of this third quarter. Patrick Tata has been a busy man with extra points. Had one blocked earlier. He's been perfect on every other one. 41 zip. Ramblers.
When we spoke to John Holisek at the beginning of the week, Dave, he talked about the I don't want to say anguish, but certainly the heartbreak of 2011, 2013. He acknowledged that there probably was a perception and some pressure that it was time for his team, for John Holisek coach team, to win a state title, that this was the one that they had to get. And they have come in here and for the most part left no doubt. Have dominated really from the beginning. They've been excellent on both sides of the football, and just a very workmanlike performance to jump out 40-0 on this 41-0, I should say, on this game, but undermanned Marist team tonight.
Marweedy at 6'5", 220. Saw those numbers pretty efficient. Right? 2 carries, 2 touchdowns, 3 yards. It works for the Loyola fans. You talk about the pressure from John Holisek and maybe on him, because he's the constant, right? I mean, you talked about in the 7A game, the players turn over, right, but Holisek the constant. And of the last 7 champions in Class 8A, 6 of those 7 had to beat Loyola to advance in the playoffs. Here comes Seamus Glasgow. He has a full head of steam. Nice return for Glasgow. He took it from the goal line out to about the 24-yard line. And we remind folks, this is actually the 5th time in 8 games here this weekend that we have played with a running clock. Once a team gets up by 40 or more points in the second half, the clock does not stop except for timeouts or injuries or end of quarter or possible media timeouts. And this is what Marist has done, and that really tells the story. Their longest possession lasted 5 downs, 38 yards, and they were all short. And get it to McCullough. Get about 5.
And what looked to be 8 possessions there, they have not run more than 5 plays. They've done that 3 times. They've just got nothing going. And again, Brendan Skolitsky, all-state quarterback, 10 rushes for just 5 yards. Not much more through the air.
He came in with almost 1,100 yards rushing. He's going to get some here. See the quick feet that take Gets him out near the 40-yard line. 9 yards on that run for Skalitsky. You know, and in the air as well, just 8 completions tonight. Skalitsky this season completed 65% of his passes. Put that ball up in the air 393 times this season coming into this game tonight. Just grab, hanging on. And the 93 cross to Fata. The outstanding outside linebackers for the Ramblers. State championship in 1993, second place finishes in 1992, 2011, and 2013.
They're not going to be second tonight.
Nope. You may have heard on the sidelines the Loyola coaches, players, fans yelling screen. They did to Keffer.
You know, it is interesting, obviously, the entire concept of the class system with these 8 different divisions to get schools equally matched in terms of enrollment, theoretically the same size talent pool to pick from, and to have 5 of the 8 games.
Personal foul, face mash, defense number 5. 15 yards out to the end of the run, first down.
To have 5 of the 8 games not be overly competitive, it's just a fluke. It's going to happen once in a while. It's you know, you can't predict it. It's a credit to those 5 teams that they've come out here and played as well as they have yesterday and today.
On the left sideline, there is contact right there. Ooh. That ball was thrown out of bounds.
I wonder if that's why there's no flag, because there certainly was some pushing and shoving.
Well, I have to tell you, my eyes were flying over the field looking for the yellow flag, and none to be had. Ian Swenson, the coverage on the, I should say, the coverage to Ian Swenson, the intended receiver right there, Darshawn McCullough. So it just becomes a 2nd down and 10. Skalitsky doing the best he can, and he creates. How about that for Skalitsky? We talk about he hasn't had much rushing yardage. I'd say it's an incomplete pass, however, as Liam Keffer thought he may have pulled it in. But give credit to Skalitsky. He hasn't gotten much running, but his feet are what carried him for the opportunity.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
His ability to avoid that jailbreak blitz was impressive, and Keffer thought he had the ball, flipped it away, but the official said no.
41-0 Ramblers after 3. These IHSA football championships have been brought to you by Country Financial. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to help you get where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. 2 third-quarter touchdown runs from Jake Marweedy boosted this to a 41-0 lead as we entered the 4th quarter with Kelly Kroll and Hub Arkish. I'm Dave Bernard. Here is Brendan Skalitsky. Running out of room. When you think how frustrating this has to be for a Marist team that averages about 38 points per game, 430 yards of offense because of how they structure it and how they have absolutely been denied tonight.
One of the things I was looking forward to is all those gadget plays for Pat Dunn to pull out. But when you're down 4 or 5 touchdowns, you're not going to start pulling out gadget plays. They haven't had a running game. Loyola took the ground game away, and it's forced them to throw into all kinds of multiple coverages.
Under pressure and batted down at the line. Deflection never allowed the ball to get to Keffer. You may have heard PA announcer Jeff Fritzen refer to Ben Leroy, and the PA announcer here for the next 4 or 5 years here in Northern Illinois will be calling his name. So I've mentioned the only returning starter on this defensive unit. That's somewhat typical, though, for Loyola. They just keep recharging as they go defensively. It's almost always an entirely senior defensive unit, and then the next year it just flips over and another set of seniors. 13-play, 12-play drives, 66, 73, 77 yards, the touchdown drives tonight for the Ramblers, and they'll get the ball back here. bursting through. Laja will add to his rushing totals tonight.
I'll tell you, Dave, I think Ben Leroy is going to enjoy his time here. I've gotten to know Coach Carey just a little bit close to the program. Been here for their incoming freshman dinner the last couple of years. What a remarkable job this Northern Illinois football program has done, regardless of who the coach is. And since Coach Carey took over, they have not skipped a beat. Need a little help this time, but they're going to play in another MAC Conference Championship game next week.
They were pretty excited here in DeKalb yesterday when Toledo was beaten, and that would put NIU back in that title game.
6th straight MAC Conference title game, I believe. That's what I heard. I think that's pretty remarkable. Great job with this football program.
We appreciate Northern Illinois hosting the football championships here in the odd number years. Quinn Boyle taking over at quarterback, 5'11" sophomore, the heir apparent to Emmett Clifford. I don't know whether he'll keep that number 24 as the quarterback. And he moves up to the junior and senior seasons. Laja comes off the left side. Clock continuing to roll. We've played 3 minutes here in the fourth quarter. It was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Then a couple of touchdown runs by Laja, pass from Clifford to Isaac, and set at 27-0 at the half. And then the first 2 possessions of the third quarter resulted in scores, taking us to our 41-0 Ramblers advantage. Laja splits a couple of blockers and pretty much count on him for those 6-7 yards each time. He's had some double-digit runs here tonight. He averages 6.7 per carry.
Offense number 71. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, third down.
Tonight, Laja right at a 6-yard per carry average. His 138 yards coming on 23 carries.
The one young man I don't think we've seen back on the field, the younger Dvovenak brother, Jack Dvovenak. He left with a leg injury, and I certainly wish him the best and hope that he's okay. I do not think he's been able to return to the game since he went out. I've been looking for him and haven't found him out there.
He and John Brecky will be the 2 leaders on this offensive line next year, both coming back. Laja again. So they've been alternating Laja along with Loper. That time Laja gets 14 yards on that carry.
A couple of seniors, I think, probably both getting a chance in their farewell performances. Might as well split it up. Get everybody on the field that you can.
I know a lot of folks would say, well, why are you continuing to pour it on? But I think that's exactly it. And here comes, I would guess that may be Laja's last carry here tonight.
You would think. They got the backup quarterback. They're going to punt here. If this game was close, they would be going for it right now. It's time to get this one over with.
First punt of the night for Loyola. Patrick Tata with all those extra points. He also doubles as the punter, and some confusion in terms of personnel on the field. So we will take a break. It comes with 6:59 to play in this 8A championship game. Loyola that far away from claiming their first state title since 1993. Punting time here for Loyola comes with under 7 minutes to play. Tata gets it away easily. Marist will look for points, but they'll have to start from the 13-yard line.
I got to believe we're going to see some second-team defenders out there for Loyola right now, too, Dave. It's actually a good chance to get some young kids some experience in a state title game, even if the outcome is no longer in doubt.
Well, these may be the kids that opponents of Loyola will see next year. Let's see if we can get a few of these in. See some familiar numbers. Still a little bit of confusion as to who's in, who's out. Want to make sure as many can get into the game as possible. And I don't think it's possible, given the size of Loyola's roster, to get everybody into this ball game tonight. On the quick slant. And a pretty big hit taken by Keffer. 10 yards on the completion.
That was my first reaction when we saw him come out tonight in those uniforms. You felt it was University of Minnesota dressing 90 scholarship players at home. It's one big football team from Loyola.
Looking for the home run ball. McCullough nearly able to take that. Darshawn McCullough has been neutralized tonight. He's got 4 balls for 63 yards, only carried once, rushing for 7.
Tell you what, Dave, it's that kind of night. Unless the defender got a fingertip on that, I think that was right off his hands. That was a well-thrown football. Almost hit him in stride, and he just could not pull it in.
He'll line it up and give it a go again. Remember how this ball game started. Marist had the ball, 3 straight incompletions to start this game.
Drop on that one from Seamus Glasgow. These kids, I think, are just ready to get off the football field now.
Yeah, this is tough. Going into that scoreboard, looking right up at it, 41-0 deficit. Nice pass over the middle. The extra little flip by Glasgow, and that will be enough to move those chains. And Romano still on the field. Skalitsky, he has to look out from behind. He's going to flip it out to McCullough. Good recovery. McCullough hit a couple of times before he goes down. And speaking of going down, let's go down to the field and Kelly Kroll.
Thanks a lot, guys. Here with Loyola President Father Pat McGrath. The whole student section cheering your name. A favorite, of course, Loyola president, but a graduate of Marist. So were there some mixed emotions coming into this one tonight at all?
I suppose a little bit, but my heart's with Loyola. You know, I became a Jesuit and threw in my lot with the Jesuits and Loyola Academy a long time ago, but I'm really proud of the Marist kids. I'm just so proud there's 2 Catholic schools here playing for the 8A championship. 2 really, really great schools and great kids. It's too bad somebody has to lose, but I'm thrilled that our Ramblers are playing the way they're playing tonight.
And if I know you sent up a prayer for both of them before this game.
We always pray that everybody plays well and nobody gets hurt. But, you know, the Pope's a Jesuit these days, and so I felt like there was a good synergy, something good happening in the church today, and we probably had some good prayers coming out of Rome, too. So
I would imagine so. Well, looking at this student section, watching your coaches here as everything seems to be in hand at this point, what does it mean to bring home this state title after they've gotten here so many times and not been able to finish the job?
Right. As anybody knows who's been around kids that are playing high school athletics, they put an awful lot of time into becoming the athletes that they are, and these kids have worked really hard. I'm so proud of John Holisek, our head coach. He's such a fine man, and these kids are better young men for having been around him. The fact that we can add to it a great undefeated season and a championship is icing on the cake, but the really key thing is what good men these coaches are and that our boys are becoming, and that these students are for showing up to cheer them on. Those are their friends up in the stands, and we're just lucky to be a great Jesuit Catholic high school and a great community of friends and parents, and it's a great moment for all of us.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of tonight, Father Pat. And I love, guys, he mentions the cheering. The student section had just started. Father Pat, right before we started.
They cheer for anything right now.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you.
Guys.
Well, they're going to cheer a little bit more because the interception by Matt Sheridan will stop that Marist drive that included a 46-yard pass to Darshawn McCullough. So the defense, whether it's starters, whether it's reserves, keeps the REDHAWKS out of the end zone.
And that was an awfully nice pick to preserve the shutout. He had to go up high to haul that ball in, grabbed it with his hands and brought it down. And, you know, while Kelly was doing the interview, Darshawn McCullough made a great catch down the far sideline. That young man has played through what appears to be several leg injuries tonight and didn't want to come off the football field. So tough night on the scoreboard, but hats off to Darshawn McCullough for a really nice performance in the Class 8A state championship game.
Matt Sheridan celebrating his pick. Boys. You know, here in 2015, that was an interception in a 41-0 game. In about 20 years, that'll be the pick as a game-saving.
Yeah, the score will have been 41-40, and he will have.
And so the seconds tick down. Let's see whether they'll even spot this ball for play. Yep, they will one more time. They'll wind it down all the way. In 1992, Loyola finished second. They came back the next year and won it in 1993. And then you had to wait until 2011. Loyola finished second. Back here at DeKalb in 2013, a second place finish. But here in 2015, 14-0 and 8A state champions, the Ramblers from Loyola Academy.
There is a scene, Dave, in Remember the Titans, where the defensive coordinator sends his kids back on the field and says, leave no doubt. And I think the Loyola Ramblers left no doubt tonight. They're an outstanding state championship football team.
A convincing performance. Emmett Clifford wraps up his senior career with the first touchdown of this game. He also threw a touchdown pass to make it 27-0 at the half. And the Ramblers, maybe a sense of relief. They had to get by Homewood Flossmoor in a game that most people 2 weeks ago said that the winner of that game will win the state championship. A lot of folks thought that was the state championship game, and maybe in a way it indeed was. But once that hurdle was cleared, a win over Palatine in a tight 2-point game in the semifinals here, no doubt about it, 41-0. And as John Holisek said entering the playoffs, he said, you know, if we take care of our details, everything will take care of itself. Well, mission accomplished, and that is a relief for a lot of folks at Loyola Academy. Our 8A game wraps up 8 championship battles, and it goes to Loyola 41-0. We'll be back. In his 10th season, John Holisek picks up his first state championship, and he's with Kelly Kroll.
Well, John, earlier this week you said there might be an emotion of relief after this game, but 41-0, quite a dominating performance. What are the other emotions right now?
Well, the relief is the big one, but just so proud of these guys. I mean, they're great athletes, as you see, but academically, they're great people, they're great character. Just so proud of who they are and leadership that is shown today. So overall, just a great feeling to accomplish something so special with such a special group of high character guys.
You've seen a lot of success at the high school, college, pro level yourself. How rewarding, though, to do it in this capacity as a coach?
I tell these guys, I've never won a championship in my life. I've been in a lot of playoff games, bowl games, but never won the prize. So this is a special feeling for me too.
Well, go enjoy, Coach. Thank you. We also have Dara Laja with us. Dara, I mean, the leading rusher all time for Loyola Academy, and now you're adding state champion to your resume. Let that sink in and tell me how that sounds.
It's unbelievable. Last year, our season got cut short early. We lost second round to Stevenson. We got to play in the prep bowl. That was great, but we knew our goal was the state championship. So 2 days after our last game, we made sure we got back in the weight room, working every day, meeting, practicing, all that. And the final goal was, not just to get to state, we've been there a couple times before, but to win it. And to win it first time in 22, 23 years is unbelievable.
It's a big deal. And as a senior, you mentioned earlier this year, the senior group, what it meant to you and your success, but now to share this moment with them, what will you take away from that?
So much. I mean, first and foremost, the friendships. The bonds you get, going through 11 months of hard work, waking up early mornings, staying late for practice, the lifts, all that it brings you closer with the team. Team dinners, just bonding with the team. It's just so what I would say is, the bonds is the most important thing I'll take away from it.
Dara, congratulations. This is a big night. Go enjoy it with your team.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Guys, let's send it back up to you at the booth. Dara Laja and Loyola. Big night for them, sitting here around Coach Holisek now.
Thanks, Kelly. And, Hub, I think Dara really captured it there. The high school athletics at you get that one chance when maybe kids you grew up with in your neighborhood, or maybe you played against, as you referred to earlier, and it's those memories that will stay with you forever. Maybe more there than some other future things these guys may do.
I think for anybody who's ever played high school football, and I mean, for me it was 4 or 5 decades ago, but you remember the three-a-days in August. You remember the dinners on, it used to be on Friday night before a Saturday game, now the Thursday night before Friday night games. You know, the dances, the parties, everything you do as a team, as a group, and to accomplish this greatly. There's nothing more that this team could possibly accomplish. And to hear that young man, well-spoken and so sure of who he is and where he is, and just a tremendous testament, I think, not only to Loyola, but to this entire IHSA tournament, to see the kind of young men that we've seen here the last 48 hours.
You know, a couple of images we can only capture so many at a time. You saw the Loyola group break and then come over to the near side to their fans. At the same time, Marist had their huddle going on. Their walk is a slow walk to that stand down there where they're going to get their trophies, but yet they are feeling the same type of emotions as Loyola is. That's the last time that group, all those white jersey players, will be together, and they have to think back, and it's hard right now. They lost their last 2 regular season games, 5-4, almost an afterthought for the playoffs, and yet they persevere to get to this point.
Well, I mentioned this earlier during the broadcast, Dave. It might have been in the 7A game, but for the seniors down there on the football field, 90-95% of them will never put pads on again. I mean, you don't realize that in this particular sport, it's pretty much over when you're done playing in high school. You can go on and play baseball, basketball, all the other sports you can participate, but in this particular sport, that's it for a lot of these kids, and that's something that is just beginning to sink in right now. And that's tough on both sides, by the way, for the winners and the losers, but the winners will feel a lot better about it. I didn't know they got rings, but apparently they get rings, so I think they'll have that to remember forever.
So Marist would close out their season 9-5. They are only the 5th team ever to play in a state championship game with 4 losses. That's how tough their road was going to be coming into these playoffs. And on the other side, Loyola Academy, of course, finishes a perfect 14-0. So a 6th place finish in your conference ends up with 2nd place medallions placed around your neck. That is quite an accomplishment for the folks from Chicago on the south side.
I was thinking that over the last 5-10 minutes, and there's no way to belittle the accomplishments of Loyola tonight, but in many respects, what this Marist team accomplished is every bit as impressive. To be 5-4 at the end of the season, you know, not even knowing if you're going to get to play, and then to rattle off 4 wins to get to this moment. I really hope that none of these young men are going to let this diminish what they accomplished, because I think what they accomplished is really special.
I mean, you know, when you look at their faces, and it's a team that came here and expected to win. I mean, if they had said, you know, okay, we're going to come here, we're just going to be playing and go through the motions, no. But those stone faces right there, they thought we should be the ones holding that first place trophy, and that's a credit to their drive throughout this entire playoffs and this last week of practice.
Well, that's the great thing about sports. On another night, who knows? You know, maybe if it was different, maybe they do come back and win some things that happened early in the football game. They just could not. They played the entire game for the most part in their own half of the football field. They couldn't change the field position. They couldn't find that big play. This is a team, as you mentioned, that's used to putting up 400 yards a night. The running game was taken away from them early again. Testament to Loyola and the job that they did. But this just was not Marist night, and that doesn't mean by any stretch that they won't be right back here next year.
Now Loyola will head up to that stand. They'll pick up their trophies. They will join Arcola, your 1A champion. Tri-Valley won it in 2A. Bishop McNamara claimed their first state championship in about 28 years in Class 3A. History was made in Class 4A when Phillips ended up becoming the first Chicago Public League team to ever win an Illinois State football championship. That was in 4A. They began 5A. Nazareth Academy, they go back-to-back. 5A this year after a 6A championship last year.
Congratulations.
Montini, once again, a state title. We had a great ball game in 7A with Glenbard West winning their 3rd overall championship in the 2nd in 3 years. And then here, those folks right there in the maroon and gold, the Loyola Academy Ramblers, 1993, the last time they won a state title. And as Daralaja mentioned, several players on this team were a part of that 2013 team a couple years ago that came close and came up 3 points short. Not tonight, though. Not 3 points short. Nope. 41 points to the plus side.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much we can add to the smiles on those players' faces. You know, you mentioned the difference. You see the Marist kids thinking about what could have been, but then you look at these young men from Loyola smiling from ear to ear. There's Coach John Holisek, as he just said, the first championship he's ever won, and now we see his players sharing that with him. And, you know, sometimes you hear Coach speak and you say, well, yeah, he's just saying the right thing. Listening to Holisek make that comment, he was genuine. This is the first championship he's ever won, and you can just tell how important it is to him.
Emmett Clifford was eyeing, there it is, there's your trophy. 6 of the last 7 8A champions had to beat Loyola, had to get through Loyola to get to the state championship game and then win it. This year, nobody got through them. Your 8A champions, the Loyola Academy Ramblers, a perfect 14-0, and they do it in convincing fashion, 41-0 over Marist. Capping a big 2-day weekend here in Northern Illinois University. Next year, of course, the championships once again shift to the University of Illinois. We'll do it all over again. Once again, congratulations. Arcola, Tri-Valley, McNamara, Phillips, Nazareth Academy, Montini, Glenbard West, and Loyola. We appreciate you joining us. Kelly Krell down the field, yeoman's work there. Hub Arkish alongside Hub. Thanks for joining us here this year.
I'm greedy. I'd kind of like to see Glenbard West and Loyola next Saturday, but I guess it's not going to happen. I've had a blast tonight. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, there are your 8A state champions, the Loyola Academy Ramblers. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on Comcast Sportsnet.